Jets on three. 1, 2, 3. Jets.
We ain't gonna win, that's all I'm saying.
Let's go to work. Let's go to work. Let's go to work.
What happened? We taking this. Win on 3. 1, 2, 3. Win.
Welcome to Pregame Central, presented by Pepsi. I'm Eric Allen inside our BetMGM studio. You are looking live at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California, the home of the Chargers and the Rams. The Jets will see the Rams in Week 15, but today it's the Chargers. It's a one-back set here in the studio for the rest of the season due to the current coronavirus spikes, but we'll still be joined today by both Eric Coleman and Anthony Becht. Eric, the Jets will try to get over the hump some 3,000 miles away at this new NFL Palace.
Yeah, they have a great opportunity today playing against a young Justin Herbert, a Chargers team that has lost several close games this year. Still a competitive team, but right before the bye, the Jets put together a great performance, and they're looking to build on that. And hopefully they can continue that offensive efficiency, create some big plays on defense, and come out with the win.
There is Joe Flacco looking at the roof there at the brand new SoFi Stadium. Anthony, this Chargers team hasn't tasted a lot of success themselves. They are 1-7 in their last 8 games and have lost all 7 by 1 score. In fact, Anthony, the Bolts are just 3-13 over their last 16 games dating to last November.
Well, listen, they're battling through some new players and adjustments. In particular, their rookie quarterback, Justin Herbert, who got injected into this lineup because of an early season medical miscue with Tyrod Taylor. And it ended up being the best thing for this organization. They don't have the wins. It's not stacked up. But I will say this. They have been explosive on offense. He's been one of the best rookie players in the NFL to date. And he is a problem, not just for the Jets, but for really every team he's faced. He's thrown for close to over 300 yards every single game this season. And I'll tell you, under pressure, he's been even better. So this is a great challenge from a very confident quarterback that's only played, 7 games in his career.
Eric, as we look at Marcus May in Inglewood right now getting ready for this game against the Chargers, I'm thinking the Jets want to get this game to the fourth quarter because this LA team has to feel a bit snake bit. Every single loss has been by 1 possession, and their minus 19-point differential proves it. I mean, this team has been close, it seems like, every week, but they have not been able to finish.
Yeah, unfortunately, they haven't been able to close out games. So if the Jets are able to keep this game close in the fourth quarter, you hate to say it, but it will probably put some doubt in the players in the Chargers. Both teams, have not had a lot of success winning games. It would be great to see the games keep this game close into the fourth quarter, execute, make some big plays, which, having all these receivers healthy is only going to benefit them and help put them in the position to make these plays. But they definitely have an advantage when it comes, if they can keep it close in that fourth quarter, because the Chargers have struggled. And it's really sad to see. You watch these games and they're so close. They play well, and they're 1-score games. And as a player, it hurts to see a team lose this many games by that close a margin.
Anthony, the Jets find themselves in a very interesting situation at quarterback. Joe Flacco was great his last time out against the Patriots on Monday Night Football, but Sam Darnold is missing his 4th game now in 6 contests.
Well, yeah, it's clear that the organization, they want to have Sam Darnold 100% when he comes back. I think it's to do fairness to him and get that full evaluation for the rest of the season for however many games that will be. That's the best way to go about it, because this is a year right now where and we see the injection of young players that are going to be playing for the Jets in this game. These are every game tryouts, and it goes across the board. I mean, it starts with players, coaches, personnel, everybody's being evaluated. That's what happens when you have these kind of seasons. So, for Joe Flacco, I definitely see an uptick right now in the offense just because you see the weapons that are there and that are available. I mean, it's key to have those receivers, to have Perryman, to have Mims, Crowder, all on the field at the same time. You have multiple options you can trust, accountable players that are making plays. Mims right now is doing some really special things as a rookie in the games that he's played. And that's great to see, not only for him as a player, but we talked about this many weeks ago when he first started. Inject him in the offense, get him the ball early, get him targets, get him acclimated to the speed of the game, and they've done a great job doing that. So that's obviously helped his production get better and better every week.
Eric, what does Flacco have to do today in order to be effective? The Patriots blitzed and went heavy man coverage on the outside, sending numbers to Jamison Crowder, trying to take away the Jets' top weapon. So that created opportunities on the outside. The Chargers are going to try to get there by rushing 4 and playing zone in the back. A lot of cover 3 we've seen in the past from defensive coordinator Gus Bradley. With that being said, the Chargers secondary, it's allowed 18 touchdown passes this season, and they only have 3 interceptions, E.
Yeah, I would like to see Joe Flacco pick apart that 3 deep zone. The weakness of the 3 deep zone is the vertical routes. So, with having all these receivers healthy, Chris Herndon is going to be a big part of this offense. Jamison Crowder in the seams, taking those vertical shots, stretching out this defense, putting pressure on the middle of the field safety and those 2 corners who have to cover so much ground when you get into thirds coverage. I think that'll be a great start. Running the football is always a big help. If they can get LaMichael Pirine, they can get Frank Gore some opportunities to run the football. I think that'll open things up for Joe Flacco in the play action game. But ultimately, they're going to have to use vertical passing game to beat this 3 deep zone.
Anthony, break it down for us when we're talking about 3 deep, cover 3. What does that mean from an offensive skill position perspective?
Well, Eric had talked about the tight end position, and really it's that inside receiver on both sides. You got to put a bind in the middle of the field with the safety, and he's got to pick. And the way he does that, and look, Eric's done it more than anybody here on this show, is he's got to trust a couple things. He's got to trust eyes. He's got to have great recognition back there and be able to not just follow completely the eyes of the quarterback. I mean, that's the key. Joe Flacco, whoever's playing the quarterback, has to deliver a sense of trust when he looks one way and make sure the guy running the opposite seam has the ability to get open and get through there with speed. If he does, now you've created conflict. And if that safety wants to play on his heels and stay in the middle, you have 2 options. If he starts leaning on the one side, now you can kind of come back to it. So it's going to be a nice chess game between the safety play and Joe Flacco today. When they have those opportunities to run those seam routes, and those holes are available. You have to be on point. Sometimes it's not just an over-the-shoulder catch. It's a little bit of a backside throw, depending on how tight that window is. But there are going to be seams available. And, if you get the corner to jump in or certain areas as well, you can find those open seams on the outside in between those intermediate pass routes. So, there'll be options. Joe Flacco has to be on point. It starts with pass protection, right? The offensive line has to come up big today. If they do, with only 4 rushing, that's a quarterback's advantage right there.
All right, so we're seeing scenes from Southern California right now. There is the rookie quarterback himself, Justin Herbert. Guys, I keep on doing a double take as I watch him work on his drops. Those long locks are gone. He got the buzz cut, and your former strength coach actually delivered that haircut, John Lott.
He did not.
Yes, he did, Anthony.
Are you kidding me? I mean, that's the last guy I would have let touch my hair. I'll say this. I'm leaning on this. You know what happened when what was it, Sam the Great, or they cut his hair? His powers went away. Hopefully that's what happens with Herbert today. I tell you, that was that chopped off about 7 years. He looks that much younger now, but not your best bet. But I like it because he doesn't care, right, Eric? It doesn't matter.
Oh no! Of course, the comb back was a great look for him, but he does look like he's 14 years old. But when you see him physically, I mean, he's probably 6'6", 240. He's a big kid, but definitely looks like a child. And hopefully, like you said, I hope that ends his streak of success this week.
Okay, so
with that haircut.
Eric, real quickly before we get to Olivia Landis for another installment of From the Broadcast Booth, the Jets are going to be lining up against this rookie with a very green secondary. 3 of the Jets' 5 healthy cornerbacks are rookies. The Jets this week at the cornerback position released Pierre Desir and place Brian Poole and Bless Austin on injured reserve. We could see a starting lineup in the secondary at the cornerback position of Lamar Jackson, an undrafted free agent out of Nebraska, Bryce Hall, a fifth-round pick out of Virginia, who is playing his second NFL game, and then probably Arthur Millette, the graybeard back there in his fourth year at the nickel position. What do you think about those changes?
Well, that's what happens. When you're not having a successful season, you start to go back into your practice squad, you go into your depth so you can see what you have back there. And what better way to get experience, what better way to evaluate these players is to throw them into the fire. And I think these players are ready. They've been competing in practice, getting reps. And now it's time to go out there and show what you can do when the lights are on. This is an important evaluation for them. So, hopefully they can step up to the plate. They're playing against a young quarterback, although he has started several games this year. They're going to have to mix up the coverages because Justin Herbert, as good as he's played this year, I was at the Miami game last week. There were a couple picks that he threw out there that they dropped. So he's going to give them some opportunities. They have to be prepared for that. They have to be on the same accord and make sure that there's no mental mistakes in the back end.
Today's kickoff time for Jets-Chargers is 4:05. Former Jets kicker Jay Feely is part of the CBS crew this afternoon, and Olivia Landis caught up with Feely for this latest installment of From the Broadcast Booth.
Jay, this Jets team has been struggling through the first 9 games of the season. No team wants to be 0-9 to start the season. However, when you take a look at this Jets team, what are some positives that you think they might be able to build off of for the remaining 7 games of the season?
Well, it's certainly been a struggle. If you're a Jets fan, if you're one of those players, the coaches, anybody who's been a part of that organization, you feel for this team. You don't like to see them struggle like that. You want to see them be competitive. You want to see them go out there and be able to find ways to win. And you want to see them be able to build for the future as well. So when you look at the Patriots game, I think there's a lot of positives to take away. Joe Flacco played his best game. You had the first time where you had the original starting receivers that the Jets had planned to have at the beginning of the season there. They played well, and the offense looked as good as it's looked maybe all season, and playing a competitive game against the Patriots where they had an opportunity to win. So I think there were a lot of positives that you can take out of that game that you can hopefully build on into the future.
Jay, you mentioned some of the starting receivers. Actually, last week was the first time that the team was able to see all 3 starting receivers in Rashad Perriman, Jamison Crowder, and Denzel Mims on the field together. What can that trio offer this offense moving forward?
Well, I think they offer consistency. I think they offer veteran leadership. They understand how to play, how to run routes, how to get in and out of breaks, understanding what Adam Gase is trying to do offensively. And then you have a veteran quarterback in Joe Flacco. So when you have those veterans together, it provides cohesiveness, and it allows them to go out there and to go out and execute like they did against the Patriots, which has a good defense. And so now you're going up against the Chargers defense that has given up 29 or more points in 6 straight games. And so I think if you're a Jets fan or you're that offense, you're saying, okay, we can build upon that Patriots game, and we should be able to go out there and move the ball and score points against the Chargers.
What does the Chargers offense bring as a threat that this Jets defense really needs to be on their toes for?
Sure. So Justin Herbert, I've done a couple of his games. He's been a stud. He has gone out there. He's played really well. He's protected the ball. He's thrown the ball down the field as much as any quarterback in the NFL while not turning the ball over very often. It's a challenge for that defense, and I think Greg Williams will be very aggressive. I think he's going to try to get after Justin Herbert. He's going to blitz him a lot and try and rattle him because he does not want him sitting back there having time being able to go downfield to his receivers.
Jay, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Okay, fellas, as we continue to get closer to kickoff out there at SoFi Stadium, let's get to our individual monster matchups, starting with you, E.
My monster matchup this week is the combination of Nick Bosa and Melvin Ingram against Mekhi Becton and George Fant. These players are great pass rushers. They haven't had the successful year this year. Nick Bosa's been hurt. Melvin Ingram doesn't have any sacks, but historically, these guys are Pro Bowl pass rushers. They're going to apply a lot of pressure. And if the Jets want to be efficient in the passing game, Mekhi Becton and George Fant are going to have to hold up.
Of course, you're thinking about Joey Bosa. I get confused at times, too. Bosa was in concussion protocol. He practiced full this week. The expectation is that he will indeed be back in the lineup. And the thing to look for there as we watch Jamison Crowder get loose there in Inglewood right now is that Bosa typically lines up over the right side. So that means he would be matched up with George Fant, and then Mekhi Becton, the rookie left tackle, who the Jets are so high on, probably sees a lot of Melvin Ingram. But the Chargers do have a formidable front, no doubt about that. Jerry Tillery's been playing well for them additionally. Anthony, how about you?
Well, I really think it's the same for both sides, but I look at the Jets receivers in this game versus the corners and secondary of in this game against the Chargers. What I think about is, the uptick in offense that we've seen with those guys in the lineup. Mims, Perryman, obviously having a big game. Crowder, again, he's going to get his at some point, and once you start divvying out the ball equally, they're going to be hard to stop. And then you really see the secondary that's been weak for LA. I mean, they've had so many issues. They've traded away Desmond King, who I was very high on coming out of college. He becomes a piece that they couldn't trust. You got Casey Hayward, Mike Day. I mean, who are the guys? I don't know what their depth is right now that you can really lean on and feel great about it. So I can't imagine them playing a lot of coverage where they're just depending on those individual players to make plays one-on-one, just because of what the Jets have been able to put on film. And you can really play that both sides. Again, our secondary here for the Jets is in a similar situation because of either injuries, guys got released. So which quarterback's going to be able to start fast and really have a great game, because he's going to have his weapons at their disposal. And this is a unique opportunity for the Jets, at least on their side, to take advantage of that.
Yeah, the expectation for the Chargers is Chris Harris, the veteran, will be back in the lineup, and that would provide a jolt for them. Again, they had high expectations, and most notably because of the talent of Derwin James, but he's out again, injured reserve. He's out for the year, so this is a different Chargers secondary than what we had expected when we saw the schedule come out, of course. My monster matchup is the quarterbacks. It's Joe Flacco versus Justin Herbert, the Giants, I'm calling them. Flacco, 98-76 as a starter in the National Football League. Last time out, we saw him top Joe Montana for 20th place all time in the NFL in terms of passing yardage. Herbert, 1-7 as an NFL starter so far. He's completing 66.8% of his passes, which is very impressive. 19 touchdown passes and just 6 interceptions, so he's protecting the football. This is the first time in franchise history where the Jets will start somebody who is 6'6", and their opponent will start somebody who is 6'6". So just a big time contrast. Of course, Flacco, the number 18 overall pick in the 2008 draft out of Delaware, whereas Herbert, number 6 overall this last April out of Oregon. And this will start, hey guys, this starts a little bit of a run through the rookies, because next week, Anthony, the Jets are going to see Tua in the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, I mean, it's, we've seen this in the past where rookie quarterbacks coming into the league have struggled. It's taken them a while. It's almost, you got to sit them, try to get in a scenario where, they sit out the whole year and they learn from a veteran. It's just not that way anymore. But yet the success has turned a little bit. You've seen now these young players, Joe Burrow, to really have success early on. And, teams have to build quickly around those players and give them an opportunity. And that's what you've seen. And look, these are talented guys. These are talented players that I think everybody in their mind thought that they were all top 5 talents. And that's what they're looking like so far. So, you can't lean on the fact that, okay, here comes a rookie quarterback, we're just going to blitz them and that's going to be it. These kids are coming in with some plans, especially Herbert, who's been really good against the blitz. I mean, you can try to attack them, but they have things built in. He's had a plan so far, and he's had success versus those opportunities.
Eric, you said you saw the Chargers firsthand last week in Miami. What's went under the radar, or gone under the radar, I should say, here this week is the Chargers special teams really played poorly in that ball game. They gave up a blocked punt. They committed 4 penalties, and the Dolphins did a lot of damage in the punt return game. So if the Jets are going to win a game this season, special teams has to play a role.
Absolutely. It's going to take all 3 phases of the game for the Jets to have success today. And as you mentioned, the Dolphins gashed the Chargers last week in the return game. There were several penalties. They blocked a punt. And so this is a part of the game I think is one of the strengths of the Jets. And if they can take advantage of that, get some field position, flip the field position when playing on defense, I think that'll be a big opportunity for Joe Flacco and this offense to thrive. But the defense is going to need all the help that they can get. Justin Herbert throws an excellent deep ball. So the field position is going to be of utmost importance. They're going to have to play from the top down. And this is going to be a whole team effort today if they're going to win out of LA.
Anthony, before we hear from Jets head coach Adam Gase, I got to say I like what the Jets are going to bring to the table from the defensive line on the interior, because they're going to get Quinnen Williams probably back in the lineup today. 3 sacks on the year, 31 tackles. Lorenzo Fatukasi, I thought, was terrific stopping the run against the Patriots, and John Franklin Myers has flashed as well, and he'll have incentive being back there in California, a California native, of course. So I kind of like what the Jets have on the interior, and I think Quinnen Williams can play a big role today against that rookie quarterback, because you guys know this. Young quarterbacks don't want that pressure coming at them up the middle.
Yeah, that's the toughest location when you're talking about what you're trying to accomplish in the pocket. It's get your drop, and then you want to step up and you want to deliver. That's how you deliver the accurate footballs. When you got to start going lateral side to side, that's the issue. Now, quarterbacks can do it. Obviously, they're doing it every week. But the experiences that you're putting yourself through practice and 7-on-7, that's just not natural. That's just making a play on game day. So, Quinnen Williams be a nice addition to come back. He really has had a nice season for the Jets, and you want to make sure that, he continues to do that. And you're right. There are some young, hungry players right now that are getting more opportunities, and that's just the bottom line. This is an opportunistic business. I mean, you have your opportunities to go out there and play on an NFL football team, start and play a bunch of snaps, to make a lot of money and make yourself famous real quick. Those opportunities don't come around for a lot of teams. Think about the teams right now that have put themselves in position, to make a playoff run. They have depth, but the depth isn't really getting those kind of reps. You're winning, but you're really not developing. You got to kind of look at this from a different angle and say, well, here's an opportunity to get that development and see what you have from top to bottom. And that ultimately is going to help Joe Douglas in his causes moving forward as well.
And I will say that Greg Williams said the practice on Friday, from a defensive perspective, was one of the best practices the Jets have had in his 2 years here. So let's see if it translates, if it comes to the field, if they take that kind of effort to the field here game day against the Chargers. For more on today's matchup, let's hear from Jets head coach Adam Gase. What do you think about this ball game, the contrast here? You got Joe Flacco starting for you guys, 35 years old, against a rookie quarterback in Justin Herbert.
Yeah, it's different ends of the spectrum career-wise. But I think both sides have an interesting matchup because, one, I mean, offensively, you got a lot of young players that our defense is going against. You have vertical threat. We have to do a really good job of making sure that we keep these guys in front of us, avoid, giving up explosive plays. Their defense, we got to control their front. I mean, their front's scary. I mean, those 4 guys, and I don't know if Bosa, there's a good chance he's back. So, I mean, now you got one of the elite pass rushers. These guys are dangerous, and they don't do a ton of stuff schematically, but they do things really well, fast. It's a typical Gus Bradley style of defense where the variety's not there, but they're going to play their stuff really well.
The Adam Gase Show airs locally on CBS 2 at 11:30 a.m. Sunday mornings, and it's also featured on NewYorkJets.com and the Jets app. You can check that out before kickoff after we get done here, but the show rolls on. Let's bring in Ethan Greenberg.
All right, EA, thanks. Appreciate it. Now it's time for another installment of All In or Not today. Anthony Beck batting leadoff, as always. The Chargers have the number 4 offense in the NFL, Anthony. The Jets are coming off a bye. Will they hold the LA Chargers to let me rephrase this. Will the LA Chargers eclipse 400 yards of total offense, all in or not today?
Yeah, I have to be all in on this. Right now with the youth movement, some young players getting opportunities. I want to see these guys really get better. But unfortunately, to get better, sometimes you're going to have to go through some things. Right now, there's too many weapons, I think, across the board for the Chargers. And I think that trend continues for them offensively. So it's going to have to be an offensive show for the offense as well for the Jets to keep up.
Okay, so we have one all-in. Eric Coleman, the Jets have scored on their opening drive in the past 3 games. Will they make it 4 for 4, all in or not today?
I'm all in on this one. I think Dow Loggins and Adam Gase have done a great job of scripting the first 15 plays, and they really come out aggressive these last, 5 games. I think that, playing against this zone, there are several weaknesses that the Jets will be able to exploit, and they're going to end up with 7 points at the end of the first drive.
All right, 2 for 2 for all in. EA, will he make it 3 for 3? This is how we're going to wrap this up in all in or not today. Will Justin Herbert and Joe Flacco each throw for at least 2 touchdown passes?
All in, 3 for 3, 100%, because Flacco, he tore up that Patriots secondary on Monday Night Football. I think he's in a groove, in a rhythm, feeling really comfortable, making his 4th start of the year. And when you look at Herbert, the 17 touchdown passes are one thing, but he's had at least 2 touchdown passes between weeks 4 and 10, each of those ball games. So I will say both of those quarterbacks will have at least 2 touchdowns through there.
I love it. I think this is the first time that all 3 of you have been all in on all in or not today. BetMGM, the official gaming partner of the New York Jets, is bringing fans a free New York Jets weekly pick'em contest. To enter, just sign up and make predictions on how this week's game will play out. Download the Jets app today for a chance to win an MGM Resorts trip package and free bets at BetMGM Sports. Play free for every week. You must be 21 years or older. Restrictions do apply. Visit BetMGM.com for a full list of terms and conditions. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Now it's time for Fearless Predictions. I have an Anthony Becht-inspired Fearless prediction. So off the bye week, I'm thinking, what am I going to do here? Maybe I'm going to go a little crazy off the reservation. And I know Anthony's going to appreciate this because he's been saying this for a while now. Chris Herndon will lead the Jets in receptions today against the Los Angeles Chargers.
Wow.
Be great to see. There's no doubt. I've been kind of leaning on that myself, Ethan. I figured maybe I need to change it up and give it to somebody else. So that might be the call of the week. My pick, fearless pick for this game is going to be the Mimster, man. Denzel Mims, 100 yards. He's going to get his first hondo of his career. This kid's ready to explode, man, and he's going to catch one and break it down sidelines. He's going to do something special today, and I'm looking forward to seeing that, and hopefully that comes to fruition for him.
Hey, that's a new nickname, the Mimster.
The Mimster. My Feelers prediction today is the other rookie, LaMichael Pirine, is going to have his first 100-yard rushing game. This Chargers defense has struggled against the run. This is the chance for the Jets to establish that run game and see what LaMichael Pirine can do.
Wow.
I like that.
Pirine. And the Chargers have been decent against the run. Listen, I'm going to stay on the offensive side of the ball, guys. I've been talking about Flacco a lot today. We had him on the podcast. I got a lot of confidence in what he can do. I think the receivers are they're just going to get better, this threesome. And this could be a big game for Jamison Crowder in the middle against that zone, I think. But I have Flacco crossing or reaching the 300-yard passing mark today. And I'll tell you what, if this game is tight, a one-possession game in the 4th quarter, I will say the Jets will win. How about that, Ethan Greenberg?
I like that. I like that. You got to be bold on Fearless Predictions. I dig it. I support it.
Okay, Ethan, thanks as always. We appreciate your time here. And also Olivia Landis, of course. We're going to see everybody later for Jets Overtime presented by Duncan. Remember, we will be live right here from the BetMGM studio 1 hour after the final whistle. Again, kickoff today, Jets, Chargers, 4:05 today. The Jets looking for their first win of the year. The Chargers 2-7. Final thoughts, E?
This is a big opportunity. This is a great opportunity for the Jets to get the first win of the season. They can put together a complete game, disguise some coverage in the back end. They'll be able to force some turnovers. So I'm excited to watch the Jets come out and play on defense today.
Anthony, how about you?
I want to see some young players shine. I think it's going to be important for this organization to find those guys. And what an opportunity it is to go out there as a young player, and the game's going to be fast and there's going to be a lot thrown at them. But those guys that can rise up can last a long time and make a statement for themselves in this game today and moving forward. So I'm excited to see these young players go out there and get their chance.
Well said. Okay, let's get to today's inactives for your New York Jets. Of course, Sam Darnold down with the shoulder. He'll be missing his 4th game out of the last 6. Rookie quarterback James Morgan. Sergio Castillo, that's a big name there. That means Sam Ficken, of course, is going to handle kicking duties, and Blake Cashman and Cameron Clark as well down today. Enjoy the ball game. Come back for more Jets overtime. 1 hour after the final whistle. Is this the day the New York Jets finally get that elusive first victory? We're about to find out.